Hello Fluffies!
Today I'm with Prince. By now you might have noticed that he is using a wheelchair. I would love to hear if you have tips about Lolita or Kodona with a wheelchair. Petticoats is the bane of your life. I know that you cut skirts to make shorts, but is it for comfort? Is it because you love the style? Tell us all about what you've learned.
I think the main thing that I want to give as a tip, and I realized for myself, is not really to think about the wheelchair, because most people who wear the style sit down at some point of the day. They still look good. What's the difference between sitting on a chair at a tea party or in this chair? It's not the chair that does anything about the fashion. It's you. You're still the same person. You're still doing maybe the same poses or whatever. But honestly, to me, when I take outfit photos and I'm standing for once, because everyone, ambulatory wheelchair users exist and we can stand for short times. Actually, most wheelchair users stand for short times or can do that. Back to topic. And now when I stand in outfit pictures, it just looks weird to me. Like, it doesn't look like myself because I'm just so used to it by now.
But when you do modeling, most of the time you have to walk because the catwalk is not accessible. So do you hate yourself in photos from fashion shows?
I don't hate myself. It's more that it's weird. It just looks different than it usually would. And for me, it's mostly the sadness that the stage is not accessible. To me, it is important to show that disability exists in any space, including fashion. Why not show it on stage, especially when it is so easy to put a ramp?
Did you find tricks or things that if I wear something like this, it helps, or things like that?
Okay, what I realized for myself, for one, is with pants, I usually prefer the longer pants because these are kind of in the middle. I prefer pants that actually go over my knee because that way you can still see them. When your pants are shorter, like up here, it looks great in standing, but maybe you can see it. The only thing you can see are my knees. You don't see anything of my pants because I'm sitting here. You don't see them.
They're usually harder to find, no?
A little bit, yes. Most people in Kodona do prefer shorter pants, so also people produce more shorter pants. Another thing is, as I said earlier, when you're sitting down, you don't really see the pants, but that's kind of for the whole outfit. Like, the perspective on your outfit is different. So when you're in a wheelchair, the main focus is on your legs, but you see a lot of legs and shoes. So to me personally, I love printed tights for that reason, because on me they are very prominent because they're in front of everything that I am. The other part that's really prominent is this area, like the bow tie, the necklace and everything. This is the most prominent part that you see because most people see me up until here when they look at me because they're just taller than me. So this is the part I usually put most effort into styling, and of course the makeup and on top of my head. But this part really sinks into the chair, so you see it less. The interesting part is with pants, I usually prefer longer pants because pants get shorter when you put them on and sit down. But for dresses, especially Lolita dresses, it's the opposite. Like when you wear a normal length dress, when you sit down, I think you notice it too.
Exactly.
It's longer than when you're standing.
Me,
But when I wear shorter dresses, they have the normal Lolita length. When I look for dresses and I see short dresses, I know, okay, for the wheelchair, that is the perfect length.
Okay.
But I also do like the longer dresses, so that's not that much of a problem.
But if you take a long dress, a triple fortune dress, it will fall on...
It will probably go to my shoes, so really not great because it might get caught in my wheels, it might get really dirty. It's possible, but yeah, it's too much of a risk. Also with petticoats, for me personally, this is probably a question of taste, but I personally like to use just a really light petticoat because it doesn't get in the way of me sitting. It's a little bit of a cushion, but it doesn't look flat on top. With a little bit of petticoat, you still got that bit of volume without really making it problematic in the chair.
A friend of mine who is also a fashion designer is working on a petticoat that you can tie on the back, so you don't have to sit on it. So maybe that would be interesting also. What do you think brands can do to make clothes more accessible?
I think there are actually a lot of things brands could do, but the first thing, to have disabled models. Because when I go shopping for clothes, the first thing I look for is, how does this look when I'm sitting down? You always only see models standing, and I've actually made a reel about this before. It's like when brands only show your clothes when standing up, what are they hiding? Like, why don't you show how it looks when you're sitting down. Because it looks bad? Probably. Just show me how it looks like when you're sitting down. You can, of course, use a non-disabled model just sitting on a chair. That would be perfectly alright. But please, as I said earlier, disabled people are in every space, including fashion. And please use disabled models. When you're looking for a model, hi!
He is an amazing model.
I'm just very
his
excited.
makeup is
Sorry.
amazing, so you should definitely hire him.
I'm very excited to do modeling jobs because I actually do have modeling experience and I did a lot of it even before I started using a wheelchair, and now I still do it, just less people want to hire me because who wants a disabled model?
I would, just very far away. And
Oh,
things about maybe zippers or
Yes.
closures, things like that.
There are a lot of things that would be better for disabled people. One that you already said, the zipper, that it is in a comfortable position to reach. Especially on shoes, I notice this all the time. When I try to close a zipper on my shoe, I can't reach it when I'm sitting down. And to me personally, I can stand up for that situation, but some people can't. Or some people are not as flexible as I may be. Don't make parts where you have to do like acrobatics to close your clothes and that you can just easily put on. For JSKs, shirring, all the shirring. You can move around a lot better when you have a shirring and don't have to watch out like you're constricted and all that. Shirring is very important for wearability in general. Watch out that you don't have dangly parts on your clothes, like especially in the leg area or on your sleeves. And I'm saying that while I have dangly
Yeah,
parts here, but that was for the
that
fashion
you
show.
made
That's
yourself.
different. Yes, I made it myself. In general, like for daily fashion, watch out that there are no dangly parts. And when you have like trumpet sleeves or something like that that could get in the way of a wheelchair, make sure they are tuckable. That when you sit down or take photos, you can take them out, but when you just roll around, you can roll them in and just tuck them in so they're not in the way. Okay, another part is to try not to have like stiff parts or chains or bows that are in awkward positions. I mean, for most people, it will look good in that position, but when you really want to have it there, make it removable so that we can choose where we put it. For example, a lot of JSKs have like a bow in this area or this area, but so that you can take it off and just put it in the area that fits your outfit better, because it just looks different. Everything looks different in a sitting position. Then what I said earlier, that it's very much appreciated when the pants are a little bit longer and closed under the knee, because when you just have open pants, a lot of brands who are recently branching into Kodona fashion just leave the pants open, and this just pulls up your leg. It leaves your knee empty and you don't really see the print of the pants because it just goes up and it's not closed here. Yeah, I do not prefer that.
So maybe
Sorry.
like a shirt pants and instead
Yes.
of buttons or something, because then
I think both is fine, but
Okay.
shirring is always better
Oh, yeah.
because you're more flexible with shirring. And another part, also what I said before, that when pants or skirts are too short, they would just go up on the chair and leave your bare legs or just tights on the chair, and just maybe some people are okay with that, but to me personally it's just really uncomfortable. Another thing is that I also really prefer high waist, because when you're sitting in a chair and you're constantly sitting and also moving because you know your life, it gets pulled down a lot. So when you have pants that sit here and they get pulled down, no. But when you have a high waist and it gets pulled down a little, it doesn't pull as much because it's higher, and even if it does, it doesn't like expose your skin to the chair. Much more comfortable when you have like a high waist. The focus and the position is just different. When you have something with a motive, like a print on it, you have to watch out that it's in an area that you can actually see on the cloth and sitting down, like not right up here, but like more to the bottom where you can actually see it more in this area. This is also why I like to wear like pins and such, because it's really visible here. I'm not wearing pins today because I was wearing this, but in general, pins are really great. But when you have like a vest, when you put the print here, because that's where you see it. Then another thing is wheelchair caused anatomy. Like you push yourself a lot. That means most of us really build muscle on the arms. So when you have something that ends here, it's important that it's not too tiny. And on the same note, also the shoulders, you move your shoulders a lot, so it's better when you have a flexible part in the shoulders or a soft fabric, not too stiff.
So is there anything else that you want to add and tell to the world?
I would always appreciate if brands or small labels or anything, just fashion shows at conventions, just showed more disabled models and made an effort to be inclusive. Like when people talk about inclusion, like the first thing you think about when you hear inclusion is probably skin color, gender, and those things. never disability. Never when you build a stage for a fashion show, you think about, I don't know yet whether we will have a disabled model, so we don't need a ramp. And when someone applies, it's their fault when they can't get up the stage. That's just sad. Tell people we have a stage, we can add a ramp, you're safe to apply. You can apply, we want you. And we want to be a part of the fashion, we want to represent, we want to be there.
And I'm happy that a lot of brands give you this opportunity to actually walk. I saw you walk in fashion shows that were on the floor.
In most of those fashion shows, that was back when I still used my cane more. I always have my cane here on the back of my wheelchair. I'm okay with that. I'm just happy to be included at all, but also I would like to also show that a wheelchair is very normal in this fashion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's not like a burden, it's a big help.
So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me after 4
years.
years.
I'm so happy we could do this in this gorgeous setting. Thank you CosBox for letting us use this set that is a photo booth for Dokomi, and they agreed that we do this interview here, so
shout out advertising.
Thank you so much CosBox. If you want to see interviews of other amazing people wearing Lolita, click here. There will be a full playlist of other very cool things. And I will put all the links so you can find prints in the description. And remember, everybody can be kawaii. Bye bye!